Masuri Academy, National Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy of Administration. And I was going for a walk with two IAS officers and I told them about this offer not getting materialized. I was not worldly wise, they told me. And it was followed by another IPS officer telling me the same in Pune, that they have offered you, but now you have to go and show your willingness, say that yes, I am ready, please, please, please. It had not occurred to me. So I thought उन्होंने offer किया अब आ जाएगा. In the meanwhile, I was also told, having offered, the then Home Minister asked so many officers, including a superintendent of PWD, he told me कि वो पूछ रहे थे कि how will she handle encounters. So I realized that yes, this seems to be a job which according to the powers is not meant for women, and maybe the same thought process was there amongst the junior officers also. I felt it, but I must give them credit that once they realized I mean business, one, and secondly I don't take sides. You know, within crime branch also there are so many poles. एक एनकाउंटर स्पेशलिस्ट के अपने फेवरेट्स हैं, दूसरे के अपने फेवरेट्स हैं. नो पॉलिटिक्स, ओनली प्रोफेशनल वर्क and no taking sides. That helped me, I would say, first survive and then take to my professional task.
So what kind of problems and pressures you faced while being a joint commander? जब आप sides नहीं ले रही थी, when you don't have any favoritism, any groupism, तो कैसे किया आपने? How did you manage it?
तो पहले तो officers watch you. Then I thought, since everybody was unhappy with me, after some time everybody became happy कि तो किसी की भी side नहीं ले रही हैं, and they started collaborating with me. And Wale Shetty sitting here, he was he is with me from port to zone 4 to crime branch. If I would do my paperwork well, after all, Abha is sitting here, she knows court में trial तो paper के base पे ही होता है ना. You may be good at shooting, but ultimately it's the paperwork. I'm good at paperwork. I'm ready to go out for. In my book I've talked of Nawasheva port arms hall. I'm ready to.
I was coming to that story after this. But
so I'm ready to work, go out and conduct a raid, supervise a raid even at 2 o'clock at night. Once I think the officers saw this, my acceptance level went up.
wow. You know what? इनकी book का नाम is Madam Commissioner. I wish there was a strap line for the book. Below this Madam Commissioner के नीचे लिखना चाहिए था कितने दुश्मन थे, how many enemies she made. Because every chapter that you will go through this, you will see that she has left behind a string of enemies. Whatever she was doing.
Only he saw them, This is a discovery for me. I never felt I am leaving the enemies behind.
Well, see, my whole point is that she has started her chapters with a, quote, with some, learned person. Now you will see that the whole story is, according to that theme of the wise man saying. But then you know that दुनिया में अगर आपके 1000 दोस्त हों, कभी-कभी एक दुश्मन उन पे भारी पड़ जाता है. My point is that she has made an army of enemies. I'll just come to that couple of those incidents just to prove my point. So this Nahawa Shiva arms that you have done, if you can just narrate the story briefly, then I'll tell you what happened in the end.
So actually he is finding my enemies while I see none. It's really a very different perspective.
Please wait till the climax, till the end. I'll make my point. Yes.
Okay, so I get a news that there is some Chota Rajan gang had landed some arm and ammunition. I think Wale Shetty, you are the IO of that case.
Yes, sir.
So I have written in the book, very few days when you sleep very peacefully. I had read a book on Jainism and I was deep asleep when I got phone call from one of our encounter specialists कि ये बहुत अच्छी information है but DCP is not keeping well. Are you ready? He didn't say are you ready. He just said कि मैं तो जाऊँगा मैडम, information तो बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत arm and ammunition है. I said, okay, तुम जा रहे हो तो मैं भी आ रही हूँ. We went there after some initial issues about Nawasheva port staff not ready to open the gates to us. We found that the particular container had been sealed by another sister agency. Now, while we were thinking what to do, an officer from that agency appeared and he said, "Yeah, ये हमारी seal है, आप इसको नहीं तोड़ सकते." One good thing which I have also mentioned in my book is that I always used to wear uniform, even in crime branch. Now, knowing my position as an IG and him being maybe SP level officer, I could prevail upon him. अगर तुमने seal लगाया था, 1 महीने से seal लगा के बैठे हो, तो खोला क्यों नहीं? हम तो खोलेंगे इसको. तो after an altercation, he accepted my rank, I think more than my argument. We opened it and we found, my God, unimaginable number of short weapons, small weapons and ammunition. So बाद में when I came to report, I think the only person you can think of my enemy was when I came to report to the Commissioner of Police that time. I found sister agency का local chief sitting with my boss. And my boss questioned me, Commissioner, कि अगर इन्होंने सील लगाया था तो तुमने क्यों तोड़ा? And I told him, सर 1 महीने से सील लगा के बैठे हैं, कोई और निकाल के ले जाएगा फिर क्या करेंगे? तो that's how I have ended my story. That commissioner was quiet, that chief of the sister agency walked out, and I felt because of this particular seizure, Mumbai is safe and the country is safe. Now, ma'am,
So my point is that now you understood that going against all odds, I mean, defying those customs guy, the sister agency people, she has managed to crack a superb, enviable victory in the whole process. Now, you know, normally what people do, what the officers who have been joint commissioners earlier or in her position, they do is that they try to get the media on their side. They try to explain the whole story to the media so that tomorrow there are no repercussions against them. Well, I think you did not take that part into consideration.
No, I didn't, because, see, as the first lady joint commissioner, I felt I was already overexposed. इतना ज़्यादा मीडियम में दिन रात आता था, मेरे को कोई ज़रूरत ही नहीं है क्रेडिट लेने की. ये वाला
जो एंगल है, that how for a month it was sealed but it was never opened, and how she has to go at night at that time alone when she was there. And you should read the chapter. I felt that chill when she was describing that in that lonely road there was no one. She was alone traveling towards Nhava. It was quite a bold thing that she was doing at that time.
Okay, now please stop. How many women in IPS in uniform would have done it? Please raise your hand.
My question.
Exactly
my point.
Yeah, all of us would have done it. I think
they'll need some male officers, they'll need an escort, they'll have some team with them, not alone. We only see it in the movies. कि एक अकेली औरत चली जा रही है लड़ने के लिए.
Beg your pardon? I had my escort. That's
not a following car, not a police car, another car following her or whatever. That was one story.
Okay, I want to interrupt you. So I gave an interview to Cyrus, what is his full name? Barucha. उसने एक ना सारी इंटरव्यू में से एक शॉट निकाला है where I am saying that men are weak. So the whole interview has 87k visitors and this one has 207k where I am saying men are weak.
Well, I agree. I mean, when she say, I don't know why, other men have taken offense to it, but men, though, well, kamzor hote hain. I'll come to the story, another one which you will now hear about. She has made another set of enemies when she sent her team in Delhi to arrest 2 gangsters. Vicky,
yeah, this I agree that I got enemy.
Yeah. So, do you want to explain this story, narrate the story in a short, brief way?
Okay, so we got information, we were, in crime branch, by following the due procedure of law, we intercept the phone calls of criminals. And we found that there was a very huge increase in extortion calls. First, the team was sent to Kolkata because we were tracing those phones to Kolkata. Then it was sent to Delhi. When the team went to Delhi and they found the guy called Vicky Malhotra, ma'am, I am naming him because वो तो criminal है. So Vicky Malhotra and Farid Tanasha were giving these calls. तो जब उनको my officer who had gone there, he was an inspector level, a very brilliant officer. When he accosted him, Vicky Malhotra, उसके साथ जो एक there was an individual, he said इसको मत उठाओ, इसको मत पकड़ो, don't arrest him, because I am the former chief of intelligence bureau and I tell you to do so. Now in this particular case, my DCP had missed his flight, he had not gone, he had not reached, so the inspector was in touch with me. अब मैं क्या करूँ, next क्या करूँ, ऐसा मेरे से पूछ रहा था वो. तो उसने कहा कि मैम ये जो मैंने इनके साथ हैं वो तो कह रहे हैं कि वो आईबी के रिटायर्ड चीफ हैं, तो ये फ़ोन लीजिए. वो तो थोड़ा सा घबरा भी गया. So when I asked him to identify himself, identify his batchmates in Maharashtra cadre, it was clear that he is an IPS officer and he could be from IB. But he told me, you are telling a lie that you are a joint commissioner. There is no joint commissioner crime, and if you don't leave this guy, I will teach you a lesson. So I told him, I am not telling a lie, I am indeed joint commissioner crime and I will teach you a lesson. तो इसमें दो चीजें क्या हुई, बाद में पता चला he was former director of IB, but he thought that this tall Patil is from Delhi police, and Delhi police had a male joint CP crime at that time. So he confused Patil to be from Delhi police, and therefore he made that statement. And because we picked up not only Vicky Malhotra but also Farid Tanasha, whom we found had not been aware of all this action, and this former director called help of local control room of Delhi. Control room, while sending help, leaked this information on TV. So while I am in my chamber, I find the scroll that former IB director caught with known criminal. Us time I don't know whether Vicky Malhotra ka naam aa raha tha ki nahi. And this former IB director was indeed former director IB, and he is Ajit Doval, who is the current National Security Advisor.
So there is a bit of a background to this. I'll try to complete that story with the background. Dawood's daughter Mahrukh was getting married in Dubai Hayat, and I've written this in my book Dongu to Dubai, somewhere in 2007. This operation happened somewhere in 2005-6. 5. So the story is that how they say that this former IB chief was planning with Vicky and Farid Tanasha to go and eliminate Dawood in that daughter's wedding in Dubai. Because I mean they all believe that IB is like kind of organizing these kind of operations abroad, and it was Dawood who was India's enemy number one. So when this all happened, and when she was more interested in picking up Vicky and Farid Tanasha, and they were criminals, they were extortionists, and the Mumbai crime branch was following and monitoring their phone calls, so they knew very well that they were like trying to extort money from some business people. After this, one of the officers in Delhi told me that the officer, this IB officer, was very much adamant that she was trying to ensure that those guys are not arrested. So he kind of was yelling, screaming, getting angry. This source of mine told me that Miss Borwankar told him that अगर आप 2 मिनट में पीछे नहीं हटे तो इन दोनों के साथ मैं आपको भी arrest कर लूँगी. That's why that's a 2.5 arrest that she has mentioned. And the best part is that the AC who told me this story, that he quietly went to this guy and whispered in his ears, कि see, this woman is crazy, वो सच में arrest कर लेगी, आप पीछे हट जाइए.
So actually he's been waiting to tell all of you that I'm crazy.
I am not. Wait. उसके बाद एक कैंपेन चलाया लोगों ने, और वो कैंपेन में ये था कि मुंबई पुलिस was tipped off by दाऊद इब्राहिम कि ये ऑपरेशन फाइल कर दीजिए ताकि इनके लोग ये विकी और फरीद तनाशा जो है वो वहाँ ना पहुँच सके और दाऊद को ना मार सके. You know what? मुंबई पुलिस की रेपुटेशन पे एक उन्होंने ब्लेमिश इस जरिए डाल दिया. Now my point is कि इसको कभी इन्होंने या किसी ने क्लैरिफाई करने की कोशिश की नहीं. My whole point is.
But I have done it in the book, and also my conscience was so clear that it didn't strike me that it will be considered that we are trying to sabotage a very genuine operation being supervised by a senior officer in Delhi. And I have clarified it's just lack of coordination.
So till date, Delhi journalists, you know, the sympathizing or like supporting their IB officer has been saying कि मुंबई पुलिस तो बदनाम है दाऊद को support करने के लिए. Now they don't even know the truth about this whole operation, but well, दुश्मनियाँ ऐसे ही बनती हैं. So maybe one दुश्मन was one IB officer that she made, and the other दुश्मन was the media guys in Delhi and other places. I was just trying to put this footnote.
No, media में one chapter which people are not talking about. I have mentioned how मेरे against लिखा गया कि I am trying to shield Hussain Parker.
Dawood's sister.
Yeah. So you media people in media also take sides, and it came as a front news same day in Times of India and Mumbai Mirror. I dragged them to the court. After 4 years, they had to apologize on the front page that it was incorrect and that it has caused harm to Meera Borwankar. So what I want to say is that sometimes media is either over enthusiastic or take sides.
No, they are always over enthusiastic and they always take sides. It is not sometimes, I will say always. So you know that story, Hussain Parkar is Dawood's sister, and people they wanted her to be arrested. She was chasing Hussain, but they have gone underground. So just because they could not get the woman, the media kind of just thought the front page story ka opportunity is to write about that she got transferred because of not arresting Hussain Parkar.
And also, because we were chasing her, we had put her phone calls under interception. And in one of the interceptions, she has said, ये मीरा बोरवनकर के लिए स्पेशल नमाज कराओ ताकि इसकी यहाँ से बदली हो. इसकी बदली कराओ, इसके लिए एक स्पेशल नमाज.
तो में से जैसे स्पेशल आरती होती है, स्पेशल नमाज करो ताकि इसका यहाँ से ट्रांसफर हो जाए. So they heard that on a wiretap. So I will just try to take it from the action point to some other interesting anecdotes which I found in this story. You know, they are equally interesting as much as others are. I want to know first about that woman who had fallen in love with you and was chasing you. She was writing love stories, love letters, you know, messages and all those mushy mails and messages. I think you should hear the story from her. A woman falling in love with her after she was joint commissioning crime. Yes.
So I think anybody from psychology here. So I think people in higher position attract some other beings. It was this girl, and she used to speak very good English, and she used to drive a Honda car and would try to come and meet me. Crime branch officers realized that there is something wrong, so they wouldn't let her meet me. When I got transferred to Pune, she again would come to my office and would either send me by courier love letters, poems, and once she came to my home where my mom was, and I found her having tea with my mother. She had introduced herself as my friend. That's when I thought, now it's gone beyond my control. I asked the help of local inspector. They picked her up, and I was very embarrassed, so I wanted to talk to that inspector why I am getting her picked up. He says, मराठी में बोला आपको कुछ बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है, उसके बैग में से बहुत कविता निकली हैं आपके बारे में. So she used to write such poetry about me, and because she was produced to a magistrate, and magistrate said she should be kept under observation. She was kept under observation in Sassoon Hospital in Pune. Doctor said, gave it in writing, that this woman is obsessed with Meera Borwankar. She is also giving threats of suicide.
Why was she obsessed? Sorry.
Now psychology, people will
No, did she mention about her looks in the Kavita, your heroism? What was that she attracted her?
Let's move on now.
Okay.
So,
Well, she's written about this in her book and in much detail, so I mean, that's why. Yeah.
so, but I have not given any of her poems, okay?
Okay.
So then the magistrate, the doctors, on the basis of doctor's report, the magistrate sent her to the mental asylum. From where she ran, she and her mother filed a petition in the Mumbai High Court, despite the public prosecutor presenting all the poems and all the letters which she had written. Mr. Bilal Naski, who was the judge in the High Court, he and there was another bench, double bench, said that Meera Borwankar has exceeded her authority. Then I had to go to Supreme Court, where U.U. Lalit sir, who became the Chief Justice, and Harish Salve. Both of them, they read those poems, they read those letters, and they took up the case without charging any fees, pro bono. And finally, the Supreme Court, imagine, I think I must have gone to the Supreme Court not less than 6-7 times. They gave an order saying High Court was wrong in making this observation. If you have these kinds of poems and letters written to you, we understand that this would trouble any person, and so did Meera Borwankar. So all that line which they had written that I had gone beyond my powers, they were deleted. And in a way, Supreme Court said that High Court was wrong. They said it in very clear terms. And surprisingly, 3 days back, I again got a message from her.
3 days back.
Yeah, and after a long gap. So I think she has read about this today's
Okay. Is she around?
program.
Is she one of the in the audience?
I don't know. And in the court, she took the stand that she is interested in marrying my son, who was only 15 years her junior. In the court, she took that stand.
That was her defense in the court when she was arrested or produced by the court. So that she said that, oh, actually he was interested in her son and wanted to marry him. But well, why she is still chasing her if that is the case? So well.
I am telling you, this professors in psychology will only explain.
Okay, so there is one more incident which she had mentioned in the book, and I found as a crime journalist and has done reported so many cases, I found that even after a woman becomes Joint Commissioner of Crime and reaches IG rank, she is not safe from sexual harassment cases. At IG rank, when she was the IG of a crime records bureau, she faced sexual harassment from her boss.
So again,
I find very shocking. So I would like her to explain and whatever she had gone through at that time.
ma'am, you must have seen this happen at any age.
No, she was an officer. She was a uniformed officer. She was among fellow officers, and that woman in Mantralaya who first heard your case and then.
So what I did was, see, one mistake which all the young girls which I made was that when I took a very strong objection to that officer's behavior, that very minute I should have dictated a letter and sent it to my boss. I went home thinking he must have learnt his lesson that he cannot cross this limit. Next morning when I came, all my powers as IG were withdrawn. And I had missed the bus. Because now he would say that because I withdrew her power, therefore she is making this false allegation. So never miss the bus. Same day, same moment, you should record it. So after that, my plus point was that I had already confided in the lady who was in charge of sexual harassment at workplace in Mantralaya, because she was a senior lady IS officer and she has stood with me all through. She had even said that तुमने written में नहीं दिया, फिर भी I will always say that yes, on day 1 you said this, on day 2 you said that. So I don't agree with you that I didn't get support. I got.
What happened to your boss? Did they take any action against that man? What happened to him, and did he?
See, I told you my mistake was not that very moment I should have recorded it. Usko chance mil gaya na, he went around saying, and I am already known in Maharashtra to be speaking my mind, speaking out, he portrayed me as a disobedient officer.
Which her DG corrected, and like her DG changed in appraisal that
So another point which that I was not supported is incorrect. This officer gave me, I think, rating of 6 out of 10 in my annual performance. The DG raised it to 9 plus, and he overruled him. So you do get support. Let's not get into that victim mode.
No.
आप नाम दें.
नहीं नाम भी बताइए तो मैं जानना चाहूँगा what happened to the officer? Did the department?
Is the Indian Express crime reporter here? He hit upon this name, but it hasn't come out. He's not here.
Give me the year.
Madam, करेंगे क्या?
So did he, keep climbing the ladders of progress and success and promotion?
Not to the extent to which it was expected.
Okay. So when I was saying support, I meant that the department should have punished him in a way that he should not have been there in that post anymore. He should have been shunted or sidelined in some insignificant, nondescript position. That was I meant. That's it. So then came her very interesting stint as a Pune police commissioner and first police commissioner in Maharashtra, a woman police commissioner. So I think I would like to ask her, what were your adventures and your experience as a woman police commissioner in Maharashtra first time?
So Pune is that way very educated, cultural, and lots of freedom for women. In fact, you feel that two-wheelers are banned for men and are meant only for women. So I was welcomed with open heart, open arms, and staff by that time, this is now we are talking of 2010. When I had joined police, I have mentioned it in the book, that the issue with Bhadrakali police station in Nasik was that this lady, because she is from IPS, she will sit in the front of the jeep and our inspector will have to sit at the back, and it is not acceptable. This is 1985. 2010, acceptability of women in police at various ranks had gone up. So I did not find any particular resistance. But here, like we are talking of sexual harassment at workplace, having lady officers also help. Once a lady came to me, she was a constable level officer. She told me, and I think she could open up because she felt I am a lady officer. This I have not quoted in the book. She said, हमारे इंस्पेक्टर मुझे वैसे तो बेटी बेटी करते हैं, पर मुझे उनकी नज़र अच्छी नहीं लगती. And she gave me 1 or 2 instances, and I immediately shifted her. And because she was not ready to give it in writing, we couldn't take action, but we warned that inspector. But he kept on insisting, नहीं मैडम मैं तो उसको बेटी बोलता हूँ, बेटी बोलता हूँ. But women have a very strong intuition and a sense where how the man is behaving. So I would say many instances I could help women. Another case which gave the title of the book, and I have talked about it. 2 girls had gone to have coffee in a cafe near the airport, and some boys on the next table started harassing these girls. They rang up police control asking for help. Instead of dispatching the policeman, the officer on duty said, "Kitni vaazle?" So they said, "Kitne baje hain?" 9 baje hain. ये कोई कॉफी पीने का टाइम है? कॉफी पीनी है तो घर में जाके पियो. So those girls, and this is another lesson for all of us as citizens and girls especially, they rang me up, they took my appointment, and when they met me, they kept saying, "Madam Commissioner, this cannot happen when you are sitting on this chair." And 2010, my joint CP was from BITS Pilani. He had computerized the whole control room, and he had told me, "Ma'am, every call is audio taped. I asked for the tape, audio tape played, and whatever the girl said, वो चिल्ला रहा था 9 बजे है, घर में जाओ, कॉफी घर में नहीं मिलती क्या? We could take action against that police officer who instead of helping them had stopped them down. And because they kept saying, Madam Commissioner, so this book has the title of Madam Commissioner.
So, एक last one incident which I'll describe. She had a brush against a politician at that time, and then I'll move on to the question and session.
वो तो इतना controversial हो गया यार. How many people don't know about it? Ajit Pawar's confrontation.
Yes, I know.
So, I think just अगर आप बयान कर दें,
Okay.
your words.
So I had just taken over as Commissioner of Police when the Divisional Commissioner said that this 3 acres of land of police in Yeroda, you have to hand over to a builder. उसका नाम था Shahid Balwa. Yeah, thanks Manoj. So I said, why? This Divisional Commissioner said, there was a process of auction and he is the highest bidder. I came back to my office and I found out हमको तो खुद को ही जगह चाहिए थी for making police quarters and also 2 posts of additional CPs. Additional CP North and additional CP South, Pune had been sanctioned, but there were no offices, so we had to construct offices for them. I told the Divisional Commissioner, ये तो मैं जगह नहीं देने वाली हूँ. अरे, he said एक committee बैठी थी, there was a committee में your commissioner was there, Commissioner of Police has attended those meetings, proper process has been followed. We have taken 1 crore as advance from this highest bidder, Shahid Balwa. Why are you not handing over? I explained why I am keen to keep it, because we wanted police quarters, we wanted to build 2 new offices. He said okay, and told me later on that the District Minister Ajit Pawar Dada, he would like to meet me in Divisional Commissioner's office. So when I met him, he insisted that I hand over that land. Due process of auction has been over. I refused. He got angry. Later on, this Shahid Balwa went to the High Court. High Court said, the prosecutor called Home Department representative who said, no problem, let's hand over the land. I sent my inspector who said, no, our commissioner is not ready to hand over. The prosecutor said, आपस में मत लड़ो, आप decide करो क्या करना है. Then a meeting was called in Mumbai where I insisted that Pune police needs this land and I am not going to hand over, and whatever auction process you have followed is incorrect, because before becoming the highest bidder, this guy had piece of land right to the police, left to the police, and it was in his interest to have a continuous patch. He was ready to build quarters, police quarters for us, but it was his gain to get a continuous patch of land, and I said we will not give. In the end, government had to return that 1 crore and that deal was cancelled. And when my posting as Pune Police Commissioner was over and the tenure was over and the CM wanted to post me at my request in Pune as additional DG CID, he himself first agreed and then later on rang up saying that that coalition dharam पाळावा लागतं, त्यांना ते मंजूर नाही. And later on he clarified त्यांना was who else but NCP. So this my grudge against his fraternity in media is कि सारी बुक तो भूल गए, वो एक ही चैप्टर को लेके बैठ गए. Times of India they forgot, Ajit Doval they forgot, other important cases they forgot, but they only took out 1 chapter.
So we have started. As I said, see, I don't speak on behalf of my fraternity. I mean, they've also, blacklisted me. So I cannot speak on their behalf. But I'll just tell you that we started from Ajit Doval, we started from Hasina Parkar. We did all that story. This was the last one which I thought, as a conclusion, we narrated 5 stories in this 40 minutes. She made enemies with politicians, with IB officers, with press, with her own police colleagues. कितने दुश्मन थे.
Publicity are people, unhappy police people were unhappy with me.
No. You can't say that.
So my point is why you never got the chance to become the police commissioner of Mumbai. We all wanted to become police commissioner of Mumbai.
Yeah, because at that particular time, this thing you missed, na? So Ajit Doval became NSA, and CM Fadnavis was the first time CM. Naturally, he had to listen to him. And in another case of violence in Pune, I had registered cases against Neelam Gore and Milind Narvekar. They were in collision with BJP. So, yeah, in that way, you are right. Itne log naraz the. I won't call them dushman.
Please tell her yes. Itne logo naraz kiya unhone. Mumbai didn't get a police commissioner like you. It is such a loss for the publicity. Anyway, so I would say that now there would be some of you would like to ask questions, and we are short on time. So I would like to throw open this to question and answer session. Please pass on the mic to her.
इतने दुश्मन बना लिए तो रिटायरमेंट के बाद आपको प्रोटेक्शन मिलती है या आज तक मिलती है या नहीं? This was my husband's question. He asked me. Still she has a protection. I said I'll ask her today.
So I have never asked for protection, despite the hangings and all, because I feel it interferes with my personal life, with my independence so much that I would rather be shot dead than have them all around me.
Wow.
And can you narrate about Jalgaon sex scandal which you had handled? Jalgaon sex scandal. That was also a major thing.
Okay, yeah. So in that particular case in 1994, about 100 girls alleged that they had been sexually exploited by a local Jalgaon municipal councillor, one, then second municipal councillor, then an ex-MLA's son. But the issue was, while you cry, and this happens today also, you talk about it, you are not ready to give your formal FIR. So I must have talked to about 60 to 70 girls. They would narrate the whole episode, and for all of us know that in a rape case, the only witness is the accused. You don't find any other independent witness. So we could convince only 12 girls, and we could secure conviction of the accused, those two municipal councillors and this MLA son, in the session court. But because the victims came very late to register their complaint, the earliest complaint was 6 months after the rape. And the medical, because the girls got exploited in the sense, the accused would say, now that you are compromised, I have videotaped all our sexual intercourse, now go to my friend X, Y, Z. So the medical opinion started coming habitual to sex, which now, by the way, has been banned. Now doctors cannot, medical officers cannot give this opinion. Complaints being late, this medical opinion, so High Court may those accused got acquitted. But I would like to narrate this incident. They are so angry with me that besides registering private complaints against me and my officers, 4 years back I had gone for a talking session in Jalgaon, and the organizers told me that these powerful politicians cancelled our main public hall which they had booked for my session, and the session had to be organized in a small library. So they still have that anger.
30 years after the incident.
Were you the DSP?
No ma'am, I was in CID, but Jalgaon was in my beat.
And Mr. Jog was there?
Yeah, Deepak Jog was there. He was so helpful. But in rape case, timely complaint and a medical certificate are very essential. So, with so many friends, Nilima here, Manoj and Sonali here, Professor Nandini Sardesai is here. I would like to acknowledge Vikram has flown all the way from Chandigarh, and hold your heart, not for me. He has read all Zaidi books.
Yes. I'm a
So
very,
he's flown for him.
I'm a very big fan of Zaidi Saab.
Thank you.
Or recently, Agent Lima is a very good book.
Thank you, sir. Thank
You cannot put it down. Excellent.
Vikram, you would be happy that Mr. Zaidi decided to become my advisor on writing books.
Just applied for the position today. But she said she has already one advisor. So I
That's
have
you.
a competition.
That's you.
Thank you. Okay, so now this is something very sensitive. After the second hanging, first was in 12 and then 15, Yaqub Memon, who was a chartered accountant, आपने लिखा है कि कुछ दिनों के बाद उसकी बीवी आपके पास आई, fully knowing that you were the officer, और उसने अपने बच्चे के पासपोर्ट और पेपर्स के लिए आपसे हेल्प मांगी. As a mother and as a wife, as a mother, what was going through your mind? Were you able to see eye to eye with her?
Yeah, absolutely. But I was shaken. An officer from Delhi rang me up that she has approached, are you ready to help her? I was literally, I didn't know how to react. I said yes. And when I met her, she's one of the most beautiful women I have ever met, and beautiful heart also. And her issue was so genuine. Her husband may have been a terrorist, but nothing to do with her daughter. So I tried her in passport office in Mumbai, and the passport officer was a lady. She told me, ma'am, I have tried to help her. She has met us 3-4 times, but we are not able to because the birth certificate of the child is not of India. Then I went to Delhi, and kabhi threat bhi chal jata hai. So I told a very senior officer, अगर आपने इस बच्चे को पासपोर्ट नहीं दिया, कल कोर्ट आपको ये देने के लिए मजबूर करेगी because her case is strong. And she got the passport. But I did not have any conflict. I have written in this book also. And I also feel women have to help women. Mr. Zaidi was asking me what prompted me to file a PIL against the remission of 11 convicts in Bilkis Banu's case. So we have to, like civil society, women helping women, this is the way we were brought up and taught.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Isha, and I'm a young IPS officer myself. And, ma'am, I'm so glad to hear you say...
And her father is a celebrated officer of Maharashtra Cadre, YP Singh. And her mom is here. आवाज खड़ी होके दिखा दो भाई, सब देखते हैं.
Yes, ma'am. We are really in awe of you, ma'am.
Please.
And honestly, as a young female officer, hearing you say women supporting women is perhaps the strongest thing, because even today, let's say when I go to police stations, I see women barracks, for instance, for female staff, far lesser number than what's provided for males. Many times they're not there as well. So I just wanted to know a few things that we as young women IPS officers should keep in mind. What would your advice be? And some measures that we can take in our stead to make the police force more women friendly. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So, I feel all of us should be ourselves. We should not try to be something which we are not. If you are a comfortable IPS officer, comfortable in your skin, the best in you would come out. So don't try to be a heroine or don't try to be a victim. Just be yourself. That is one. And second, I feel is that infrastructure for women in police stations. We did one study in Center for Police Research in Pune. It has a sample of, I think, 450 women from constable up to sub-inspectors. They have talked of poor infrastructure. Wherever you are, try to get them toilets, changing rooms. And secondly, the attitude of men. They say they are still not cooperative. So while taking care of women in police stations, talking to men. After all, the department would suffer if, say, 30% of your workforce is not performing to the best of its ability. So, selling this thought to them that the best of the department of the society is if these women find themselves comfortable in police station, are able to do their duties, and therefore the need to cooperate with them. Women had said कि बहुत बार ऐसे रिमार्क्स दे देते हैं इन द पुलिस स्टेशन, पगार तो उतना ही लेते हो, काम तो आधा करते हो. So these kinds of remarks, they may be even in the lighter veins are not acceptable. So we have to change the physical atmosphere, the physical infrastructure of the police station, and the psychological, social atmosphere of the police station. And women as police leaders, women in uniform give such a powerful message of empowerment. I think the very fact that you have joined police, well done.
Just one more, I think, one more question, last question. So before we wind up, yes, please let her.
मी सांगता तर माझ्या पाठी
हिंदीमध्ये बोलणार आहे.
अच्छा, दोनों कर लीजिए. ओके, आप भी बोल लीजिए.
हिंदी में बोल मैडम, हिंदी में बोलो.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, please.
मिसेस तायडे, नमस्कार मैडम. आप हिंदी में बात कर सकते हैं.
हाँ, प्लीज कर सकते हैं.
सब हमको इंग्लिश में नहीं समझ रहा, आप क्या क्या बोल रहे हैं, थोड़ा थोड़ा.
Now we are talking in English.
हिंदी बोल रहे हैं.
हेलो, और आप अभी शायद बोल रहे थे कि लेडीज पुलिस का ये सब इतना होता है, तो आप अभी रिटायर है और आप क्या क्या कर सकते हैं. मैं आपको बहुत अच्छी तरह से पहचानती हूँ, आप भी पहचानते हैं, तो आप अभी कुछ करेंगे क्या लेडीज पुलिस के लिए? कि आप बोले ना आपका जो.
मैंने तो यही सोचा है कि राइटिंग करूंगी. यहाँ आज जैसे मैं गई थी रिबेरो सर के साथ उनके एनजीओ में, लड़कियों से लड़कों से जो लॉ कर रहे हैं उनसे बातें की, तो मैंने शेयरिंग माय नॉलेज यहाँ थ्रू लेक्चर्स और थ्रू बुक्स, यही मैं सोच रही हूँ करने का.
making cases like Bilkis Banu.
And also filing PILs. Gautam, have you recognized Professor Nandini? Ma'am, she has students all over.
I'm proud because my father was an Ivy League.
Yes.
जी हाँ, मीरा जी, कुछ ऐसे वाक़यात जो एक वाइफ और हस्बैंड के बीच में या घर गृहस्थी में, जैसे छोटे बच्चे मेरे जैसे निगलेक्ट हो गए, मुंबई के रास्तों पे आ गए, राजेश खन्ना के बंगलों के सामने, कोई हमको फ्यूचर का ठिकाना नहीं है, चाहे कांग्रेस पार्टी हो, चाहे कोई भी. इंदिरा जी के नाम से मुझको लात पड़ रही है, या सुनील दत्त के नाम से, राकेश मारे साहब के नाम से मेरा कोई कंप्लेंट ले रहा है, और मैं अपने जान को डर रहा हूँ. मैं मुकेश चंद्र थलानी वर्ली सीफेस पर पैदा हुआ हूँ. मैं 25 साल से मंत्रालय के दरवाजे खटखटा रहा हूँ. कांग्रेस पार्टी मैंने बहुत संभाला, प्रिया दत्त जी, कहीं से मुझको रिलीफ नहीं आ रही है. इसके बावजूद कि मैं 55, ये मेरी पर्सनल कहानी है, उसको छोड़ दीजिए. मीरा जी, मुंबई सिटी, आप पूना सिटी इतना खूबसूरत आपने संभाला. मैंने आपका किताब भी पढ़ा, मेरे को बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगा. मैं
आज के सेशन के बारे में हम जानना चाहेंगे, कैसा रहा सेशन और क्या किस बारे में सेशन था आज का?
आज का सेशन था मैडम मीरम बोरवनकर की जो नई किताब है, मैडम कमिश्नर, उस के बारे में डिस्कस करना चाह रहे थे, और वो चीज़ें जो आम तौर से पब्लिक जो है सवाल करना चाहती है, जानना चाहती है. So we were trying to take it from the public perspective in a common way, and there were certain unanswered questions उनकी किताब में जो मैंने कहा उनको उजागर करें, लोगों को एक्सप्लेन करें और लोगों तक उन बातों को गहराई से पहुंचाया जाए.
तो आज का सेशन हमने ऐसा प्लान किया था कि हम दोनों बहुत फ्रीली, फ्रैंकली, कुछ भी ना छुपा के बोलेंगे. सो जैदी साहब ने जो भी मेरे से प्रश्न पूछे, मेरी बुक मैडम कमिश्नर के बारे में हो, या जो मैंने नहीं लिखा, नहीं कहा पर उन्होंने सुना है उसके बारे में, तो हम दोनों का यही एम था कि जो ऑडियंस है उनको ये सेशन मीनिंगफुल लगे. इस सेशन से कुछ उनको समझ में आए, कायदे के बारे में, लॉ एनफोर्समेंट के बारे में, पुलिस के बारे में, क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम के बारे में. और मुझे लगता है कि हम अपने उद्देश्य में
बहुत ही लाइवली और बहुत ही फ्रूटफुल सेशन था वो, क्योंकि उन्होंने साथ साथ औरतों को उन्होंने जो है प्रोत्साहित भी किया कि जिनको अगर वर्क प्लेस में सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट के प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, दे शुड ऑल्सो डू समथिंग ताकि उनकी लाइफ चेंज हो और जो कल्प्रिट्स हैं उनको सबक मिल सके. सो आई थिंक इट वाज वेरी गुड. शी वाज एक्चुअली फैबुलस इन द होल
I have another question. You listen the Kala Ghoda festival. What do you might have to like? जब काला घोड़ा सुनते हैं आपको क्या लगता है कैसा आर्ट एंड कल्चर रहेगा या?
तो मुझे काला घोड़ा फेस्टिवल के बारे में जब समझ में आता है तो मुझे लगता है बहुत ऑल एनकम्पासिंग कल्चरल फेस्टिवल है, जिसमें आर्ट है, जिसमें विजुअल आर्ट है, जिसमें लिखान है, थिंकिंग और बुक रीडिंग के सेशंस हैं. सो आई थिंक साल में एक बार ये एक्सरसाइज जिसमें लोकल लोग इकट्ठे हों, कुछ बाहर से थिंकर्स आए और उनमें ऐसी चर्चा हो जो यहाँ तो पहले हुई नहीं है, या जिस चर्चा से उनका खुद का विकास हो. सो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी कि हर साल ये काला घोड़ा फेस्टिवल ऑर्गेनाइज होता है और विभिन्न प्रकार के आर्ट और कल्चर्स को इसमें प्रोत्साहित किया जाता है.
So I feel that it's a treasure trove of literature, art, culture, and there are so many youngsters whose brains right now are in the molding process. तो यहाँ पे आने के बाद राइटर्स को, विद्वान को, साहित्यकार को सुनने के बाद में उन लोगों के लिए एक भावनाएं, एक इंस्पिरेशन, एक ऐसा चेंज पैदा होता है कि वो खुद राइटर बनना चाहते हैं. जिन लोगों से मैं कुछ सालों पहले यहाँ मिला था, आज वो लोग जो हैं IPS में चले गए जा रहे हैं, या वो किताबें लिख रहे हैं, या वो थिंकर्स हैं, राइटर्स हैं. सो आई थिंक इट्स अ फैंटास्टिक पॉजिटिव स्टेप टुवर्ड्स changing and inspiring the youth to go to the next level of art and culture.
Okay, sir. Thank you for the
Thank you.